Alright, so today we're going to be covering the aluminum skid plate installation process for the 2004 to 2009 Toyota Prius. You're going to start by raising and supporting the vehicle and then removing the front wheels. Next, you'll want to go ahead and grab a 10mm socket and ideally an impact or a socket wrench, and you're going to remove all of the 10mm bolts that hold on the front bumper fascia to the front bumper. Then you can go ahead and remove the 10mm bolts that hold the skid plate to the vehicle. Once you remove this portion of the skid plate, you'll see another set of bolts that secure the front bumper fascia to the front bumper. You're going to go ahead and remove these and then remove the front fascia. Then you can go ahead and remove the three 10mm bolts that secure the skid plate to the radiator core support. Once you've got these removed, you can go ahead and remove the plastic push pins from each end of the skid plate. Then go ahead and remove the 10mm bolts and the plastic push pin from the fender well liner. And repeat the same process on the opposite side. If you didn't do it before, go ahead and remove the plastic push pin from this side, and then go ahead and remove the plastic skid plate from the vehicle. Next, you're going to go ahead and fold the plastic air diverters up into the edge of the lower core support. You're going to repeat this process on each side. Next, go ahead and grab your core support extension and your three 10mm bolts that were removed from the core support. Once you've got these finger tight, you can go ahead and tighten them down with your 10mm socket. Next, you're going to grab your 14mm socket and remove the two rear motor mount bolts that secure into the subframe. Next, you're going to take the supplied hardware and insert the bolt and washer through the skid plate and into the bushing on the back side of the skid plate, and then insert the whole assembly into the subframe of the car. Unfortunately, the camera angle was too low on this, but you're going to go ahead and grab your supplied Allen head bolts and you're going to insert them through the skid plate and into the radiator core support extension. Then go ahead and install the 5 10mm screws that secure the skid plate to the front bumper lip. Now you can go ahead and tighten down the bolts into the motor mount and subframe. The aluminum skid plate was designed to be used with or without the plastic wheel well liners. These sometimes have been ripped out on other customers' vehicles, so we wanted to make sure that we still left the option of using them with or without. If you decide to keep them, you're going to go ahead and want to follow the body contour line that I've mapped out here and use a sharp razor blade, pair of scissors, or a cutoff wheel to cut along the line. It's really important to be extra careful if you are using a razor blade, especially if you're cutting towards yourself like I'm doing, which is definitely not the proper way to do it. The razor blade can slip and cut you if you're not careful, so please be extra careful during this process. Now we're going to go ahead and fish the plastic wheel well liners up underneath the skid plate and into the fender well liner area, and go ahead and secure this with the plastic push pin. Then you can go ahead and install the two 10mm screws. Followed up by the plastic push pin at the rearmost portion of this. And now you're going to repeat the exact same trimming and installation process on the opposite side. And last but not least, you'll want to install the 10mm bolts that secures the fender well liner to the front bumper on each side. And now the skid plate installation process is done. You're going to want to install your front wheels, your lug nuts, lower it back down, torque them to spec, and you're good to go.